Alright, welcome back to my channel. This video will be about my Oracle deck collection. So let's begin. This first deck, I've lost the box too, so I have it in this bag for now. But this is the Fairy Ring Oracle. And the book is a book size, of one of those big thick books. Which is actually with the rest of my book collection in the garage. That has not been one of the books that has made it into the house yet. Mainly because I actually do not work with this deck. This is actually the very first Oracle deck I ever bought. But I've never really connected with it. So I never really used it. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So here's the back of the deck. And here are the cards. And this is a very Celtic deck. So I would even say that if you were studying Druidry or you work with the Fae, this is a good deck for you. There are also cards for the Sabbats that are in this deck. So, and every time I try to go back to this deck and look over it, and I just don't connect with it. I haven't gotten rid of it because, to be honest, I don't get rid of stuff. Yeah, I even keep books that I don't like. Some of them I finish because I feel I have to finish the book, unless it's just that horrible. But yeah, that's why I have so many books. So this is the Fairy Ring Oracle. In the book, it comes with a bunch of spreads, and it also comes with a few cards illustrating spreads. So if that's something you want to work with, like I said, probably if you are into Druidry or you work with the Fae, that's a very good deck. That might be a very good deck for you. This next one, and these next three are Lucy Cavendish tarot decks. So this is the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. This is one of the newer Oracle decks that I have purchased. I actually have one coming in the mail. I had ordered it before and it did arrive, but every single card in that deck was stuck together. And trying to pull them apart, it was actually tearing away at some of the borders. So I sent for a replacement deck, which should be here any day now. But here is the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. These are the American versions, not the Australian versions of her decks. So here's the back. And I haven't worked with this deck at all, but one of her decks is actually one of my favorite to work with, and I'll be showing you that deck next. Here's the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. But I love the artwork of this deck. The cards are, you know, they're okay. Nothing that'll wear and tear on you anytime soon. I love this one, Little Red Riding Hood. I'm not a victim. And I love how all her cards have those little phrases on there. And you could see in this card too, you know, she's with the wolf. She's not a victim of the wolf. To me, it almost seems as if the wolf might be her companion in that picture. So, but yeah, I love the artwork. I love the artwork on all of them. I do like Jasmine Beckett Smith art, which that's the artist of this deck. So And I am going to try to go through this as quickly as I can, just because I don't want a chance running out of space. So this deck I've worked with a lot, and I absolutely love this deck. This is the Oracle of the Dragon Fae. And here's the book. And here is the back of the deck, which I love the back. This, I think, though, is a deck that she has a compilation of artists working on it. And you know, their artwork. But I just love this deck, and I connected instantly with this deck. And I used to do 3-card readings a lot with this deck. I just love it. And in the book, it gives you tips on working with the Dragon Fae. But I connected instantly with this deck. And there were times when I would get the same card over and over and over again, which told me this is something I really need to be working on. So, and let's see. So, that is the Oracle of the Dragon Fae. I almost think I might be zoomed in a little bit too close, I feel like. So I'm going to try to zoom out a bit. This is another one by Lucy Cavendish, and the artwork on this one is Selena Fenish? I don't know. I have not worked with this deck at all yet, though. And this is also another one of the newer Oracle decks. And by newer, I don't mean I just recently purchased it. But it's a newer acquisition. So here's the book. It's a good-sized book. As you can see, I love books like that. And then the deck. So here are the this is the last time I worked with it. I always keep the 3-card drawers I have up, face up, while I'm working with them when I put them back in. So here's some of the cards. And here's the back of the deck, which I love the back of this deck as well. And again, this is the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. And the artwork, again, by Selena Fenish. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but... So here are some of the cards. And again, I love the little phrasing at the bottom. I just adore the artwork in this deck. I really, really do. Love it. And if there's any of these decks that you may want to see all the cards in, just let me know. And I can do that for you. No problem at all. Now this is the Enchanted Oracle. And it came with a necklace. I don't think I have the necklace in here still, but it came with a necklace. And here's the book. Not a bad sized book. You can see in relation to my hand how tall this book is. So here this is not a big deck by any means. As you can see, it's not a lot of cards, but the cards are pretty thin, so there's that too. So here are the back. I'm gonna have it upside down. So here are the cards, and I absolutely love the artwork of this deck as well. And this is a Barbara Moore deck, and I think at some point I do want to get her Steampunk Tarot. Because I've seen some of the artwork, and I don't know what it is about the deck. One minute I really want to get it, and the next minute I'm like, oh, I don't know. So, but I think I may eventually get that deck. But I really have not worked with this deck. As you can see, I have quite a few decks. So there are some of these decks I have not worked with at all. Some I've worked with a little. Some I've worked with extensively. So moving on. Here is the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle cards. And you have this little book here. And it tells you about the House of Night. I think it was a series. I don't know if it was a TV show or what have you. But gives you information on each card. I do love this deck as well. I really, really do. I've worked with this deck. Not extensively, but I've worked with it quite a bit. So here's the back of the deck. Here are the cards. And I just love the artwork. I love how these cards feel. They don't feel flimsy at all. There's definitely a laminate on it. The last deck, you could feel there's no lamination on that. There's a laminate on this deck, which I don't mind because I feel that they protect the cards better. So, and it gives you just the one word, focus and strength. But in the book, underneath the cards, the picture of the cards in the book, it gives you like a little quote. So, but yes, it's been some time since I've worked with this deck too. So again, that is Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle deck. Oops, I just dropped the book. We'll get that later. And this deck, you can see, has silver. I really never see that. Silver leafing on the edges. Usually you see like gold leafing. But I've never seen silver. And I actually like that has silver leafing. Okay, these two decks are Sonia Kashuk decks. These are the only two Sonia Kashuk decks that I own. This is Ask Your Guides. This is another deck that I used a lot before. Here's the back of the deck. And I do like working with these cards as well. I've always had great readings with these cards. I've even read for a couple of friends with this deck and with her other deck, which I'm about to show you. The other deck I absolutely love working with. I really, really like that deck. I've had some phenomenal readings, and just working with that deck, I really, really loved it. Even when I read for a friend of mine. I used to read for him quite a bit with the other deck I'm about to show you. And he absolutely loved the reading. Sometimes, a lot of times, it actually did give him some guidance with whatever issues he was having at the time. This is the Trust Your Vibes Oracle deck. And I believe she has a book, Trust Your Vibes book as well, which I'm contemplating purchasing. I do like these sturdier boxes because it's a good place to house the cards, especially when you don't have enough bags or anything to go around. So here's the back of the card. And I love this deck. I feel this is a very good deck to read intuitively as well. I like that the art is kind of like abstract, and I'm really not a big fan of abstract art, but I like the fact that I don't know, I like the artwork of this deck. So again, this is the Trust Your Vibes deck. I have not worked with this deck in quite some time, but I used to work with this one a lot. And the cards held up quite nicely, and as does the box. Now these next three decks are Doreen Virtue decks. This is the Magical Unicorn Oracle cards, which this one I believe I won in a giveaway. I actually have not yet really worked with this deck. So here's the back. My daughter would love this one because she loves unicorns. So here's the card. And I do like the Doreen Virtue decks that I have. I do like them. Some of her decks I don't think I would connect with because, like her angel decks, because that's not my thing per se. Not that that's bad, but I think I would just have a hard time connecting with it. So I don't usually endeavor into trying to purchase those or look into those decks. So that is the Unicorn Oracle. And I'm sorry for this. Trying to do this with one hand, I'm sure that's a nuisance to you all, but I'm sorry for that. I'd hate to make this a part 2. So I think we're just going to fly through these other ones. This is the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. This is the first deck I had gotten by Doreen Virtue, and I love this deck. If I can get it open. So here are the cards. I do love the backing of this deck. And these are different goddesses from around the world. And again, I love the phrasing at the bottoms. Some people, I know, they think that kind of detracts from the card or doesn't, it hinders their or hampers their intuitive process. But I love them. I love them. And I love this deck. I like the fact that it incorporates goddesses from around the world in this deck. Again, so if you're looking to connect with feminine energies, this would be a good deck to use, I feel. So, but yes, this, I absolutely love this deck. I haven't worked with it in a while, but I used to enjoy working with this a lot. Okay, and then I think we are going to do a part 2. So the last deck that I'll show here now is the last one I have by Doreen Virtue. And I do like the gold leafing around the cards. I love gold leafing. I love gold leafing on books, on cards. The last one is her Ascended Masters Oracle cards. And again, this deck has gods and goddesses from around the world and angels. And even though this deck has angels in it, I don't know. I don't find it too difficult to work with. So here's the back. So you have some Hindu gods and Egyptian. There you go. I believe that's Buddhist. So, and I like the little phrasing on the top. Some are just one word phrasing, but I really like it. I do like this deck. I have not really worked with it as much as I would have liked to. Maybe at some point I'll go back to this, but I really do. Here's an Japanese goddess. And that was a Celtic goddess. I'm more Egyptian. And I honestly, I do not have an issue with Christianity, iconography being mixed in, because I'll tell you, the two that I've always connected with was St. Francis, and that might be due to the fact that's an elementary school I went to growing up, was St. Francis, and Mary, Mother Mary. I've always connected with Mother Mary. You even have Native American deities, and back to Hindu, Buddhist. So I love when there's a fusion of different faiths. I just love that, and maybe that's why I connect with those kind of things so readily, like the Goddess Oracle decks, her Goddess Oracle deck as well. I don't know. So that's part of my Oracle collection. Again, we will do a part 2, and I do apologize for having to do that, but I also need to get my daughter up and fed, so maybe me rambling on does not help my time constraints. So thank you for watching, and blessed be.